Would you believe we actually have news, Connor?
I don't believe it, Aiden. Has a new Doctor Who magazine come out?
It has.
One with us not in it.
Yeah,
Am I right, folks?
Unfortunately for you guys, we're not in this one. But our pal, Richard Lloyd, is in it, actually.
I did see
which
that.
Which is really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Good on him.
Why didn't we get a photo in it? We should have gotten a photo. We should have been in it like that, you know? Yeah, no, that is, I did see that. That is awesome.
Yeah,
and well deserved, actually.
What a
well
guy.
deserved.
Amazing stuff. But no, we have news. We've got writers announced.
Woo!
We've got, little tidbits from Russell in the new magazine.
Yep.
We have a Doctor return.
Who?
Oh, that's a bit of a cock tease. You know it's not as exciting as a Doctor coming back to the TV show.
Okay. It's the next best thing.
Big finish.
Oh, good.
Spoilers.
Good old big finish.
And then we're going to get into our review of Silver Nemesis.
Yeah, the classic.
The classic.
Technically, it is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a classic story.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
You know what's not classic?
What?
It's a Friday night we're recording.
Yes, I think this is the first Friday night in forever.
Yeah,
Probably on one of the Zoom days we've done a Friday.
Probably, yeah.
We did a Good Friday one time. We did Wars of Mars on a Good Friday.
Oh, happy Easter.
Because I remember the whole time filming on the Zoom call, I kept getting messages popping up from someone being like, come out.
Right.
And I never did.
Because you were devoted to the podcast.
Exactly right.
How
I
nice.
could have left it.
Well, if you would like to reward that commitment, subscribe to the podcast if you have not already. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor. Rate us, review us, do all the goddamn stuff, and let's get into the intro.
Go on.
50% podcast.
Did you see that ridiculous comment today?
On our channel?
On our channel.
No, I didn't. What? Wait. What was it? What video was it for?
On the latest one. On the Sea Devils. On the last episode of the podcast.
Okay. No, I didn't.
Someone who...
Shall remain nameless.
Yes. Was trying to give us advice on the podcast on how to improve it. And do you know what they closed it out by saying?
Do better.
No, that they said maybe you should lay off the beers when you do the podcast. And do you know what I say to that?
This is the first time we drank on the podcast all year.
This is the first time we've drunk on. We've done the last few pods sober. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem.
What the hell?
We need to be drinking beer.
Lay off the beer. Interesting. Fantastic.
Let's do the news.
And I was having such a nice day.
The TARDIS is about to get a whole lot bigger.
They say that can they come up with another thing that isn't just the TARDIS? Welcome aboard the TARDIS, like Aiden used to say.
4 riders have stepped on board the TARDIS for the that's not even a joke.
See? Where do you think you got it from?
This is from the official Doctor Who page website. 4 riders have stepped on board the TARDIS for the upcoming series of Doctor Who coming in 2025, joining Russell T Davies. Now, these riders are Juno Dawson. I'm going to butcher a couple of these names here. Liana Alms, Pete McTighe, and Sharma Angel Wolfall.
Nice.
Yeah, so we know Juno Dawson.
We do.
We know, she's sort of earned her way up to doing an episode of Doctor Who, I feel.
I absolutely agree.
She did Redacted, the audio drama on BBC Sounds, which was really, really good.
Did she do series 2?
I think she was involved in series 2, yeah.
Okay.
But series 1 was great, and season 2 was fine. It just wasn't series 1. And she wrote a Jodie Whittaker, one of the books, and apparently everyone says it's like so good. It's meant to be a real good one. So that's going to be really cool to see what she can bring to an actual episode of Doctor Who. Next up we have, Inua Elms. I wish that in these press releases, I mean, they would never do this, but like to put pronunciation things in brackets.
I think it's Inua. I could be wrong.
I have no idea, but I wish him all the best. He's a writer and curator, a poet, some say.
Wow.
Yeah. So
a curator like Tom Baker at the end of the day.
That's sort of what I was thinking, but with Tom Baker about him. But yeah, he's published books and poetry. So a very fresh face to Doctor Who. And he strikes me as the biggest sort of oddball out of all of these, just with really not a lot of screen experience whatsoever. I love a new voice. I'm keen to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just got to see with this one.
Yeah. It's hard to tell with people that you don't know, I guess. But like,
yeah, but he must have done something to impress Russell.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like maybe Russell's a fan of poetry.
Yeah. They don't just pull these random names out for no reason. A little guy here that you may or may not have
Who
heard
knows
of.
this guy?
Pete McTighe. What a man. I love him as a person. Like he seems like a
you
nice
love the
guy.
box sets. So.
Yeah, he obviously works on so many of the box sets, the trailers for the box sets and some special features, and he does the special editions for some of them as well.
Yeah.
And obviously wrote 2 episodes of Doctor Who as well in Kablam and Praxius.
Yeah, the Jodie Whittaker era.
Kablam, pretty fun. Praxius, not so much, but they both are serviceable.
Yes. I mean, I'm not against all this, like, bringing back writers. I mean, there was definitely a jump over from David Tennant to Matt Smith and even Peter with, I guess, like, Toby Whithouse being maybe, like, the main one.
Yeah.
And Mark Gatiss and stuff. And Gareth for a little bit of time.
Gareth.
Yes. But, yeah, it's like, I don't have any problem with this. I think it's cool. Like, I mean... Is Pete the guy that I wanted to come to? Because I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as well, like my whole thinking is that because he's going to be co-writing War Between Land and Sea, I'm thinking Russell's like, let's get a little bit of a taste of what Pete can do.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, if you like this, then good news because he's going to be doing this with me.
Well, I've got a feeling that Pete might be a bit of like the Mark Gatiss of this era, where it's like you keep seeing him do little things. Like he also did some of the Tales of the TARDIS episodes.
That's right.
And maybe we'll get one of an episode script from him like once every season or two.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be fine. His episodes in the past, fine.
Yeah, I remember really liking Kablam the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
So maybe I can have this. I'm very intrigued to see actually what all these writers can do.
But also, this isn't Chibnall producing these ones. This is Russell doing his pass on them. So, yeah, I'd be curious to maybe see if there's any shift there. You know? Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
We already know, Pete. What a man. Why has my Mac just decided to stop?
Who knows what Pete will... Maybe the official Doctor Who official Doctor Who website gave Aiden's Mac a virus.
My Mac has literally just frozen, which is so unideal. We literally have one writer to go in this.
It's just a frozen screen of Pete.
Yeah, I'm just looking Pete in the eyes.
Pete will not leave us.
Like, please.
He won't leave Doctor Who and he won't leave Aiden's laptop.
Let me get this up on my phone then, I guess.
I can ad lib, it's okay.
Yeah, please tell me.
Is it Pete McTighe or Pete McTeehee? Because I feel like people would say it wrong.
Pete McTeehee.
Well, sometimes people say that. McTighe. McTee.
I think it's
Australian, by the way. He's an Aussie.
Of course, and so we have to get around him for that reason, don't we?
More Australian writers.
Oh, I meet the new writers. You can stop stalling now. We also have Sharma Angel Wolfel. I said that wrong. So she has what I think is sort of slightly better credits for that other beginner that we have involved here. Sharma has, she's got some screen experience, but is still very much an emerging talent, which I think is really great. So she's written an episode for Dreamland for Dreamland, a series for Sky, which stars Lily Allen and Freema Agyeman.
Oh shit, Lily Allen, the singer,
and has also been in a number of writers' rooms for a bunch of pretty notable shows there on
SNL?
Netflix and Disney. Not SNL, not SNL.
SNL writers' room.
So I think,
cool.
Yeah, I'm very keen to hear her voice. So yeah, how do you feel with these writers?
I'm actually quite excited. So it's 4 from these guys, 4 from Russell. Actually, no, doesn't Russell co-write one of these apparently?
One of them is rumored to be
that you just mentioned. I think they co-write an episode together.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Call me crazy, Aiden, but I've become a little bit more excited. All it took was 9 days away from the podcast.
Yeah, okay. And now you'll leave miserable after this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the vibes now. There's no trying to sell Doctor Who to my parents and my friends anymore. It's just I'm watching it because I want to. And I'm actually quite intrigued. These writers could be interesting. I think I feel most excited for Juno.
Yeah, I
after
agree.
Getting kicked off the official Doctor Who podcast, Russell's like,
this is her redemption.
Exactly. It's like, you're not doing the official Doctor Who podcast anymore, but you can write an episode of Doctor Who. And honestly,
he's like, sorry, it's not as good, but like,
that's a pretty good.
It's a good exchange.
That's a pretty good exchange.
I'll take it. Don't worry, guys. I've gained control of my computer again.
He decided to let go.
Yeah, that was some like Bells of St. John energy going on.
Yeah, that's
there.
pretty.
I was being hacked.
I think the one I'm most intrigued to see is just what Pete does.
Yeah, and that's purely because we actually have a taste of what he does do in the past, and we've sort of gone like, oh yeah, you know, I've not been blown away by it. It's like having a really plain sandwich.
Yes.
But sometimes a plain sandwich can be really fucking good.
What would you class as plain? Just cheese?
Yeah, just like cheese and butter.
Just cheese and butter.
Cheese and butter. Yeah. Okay. Because anything else makes a sandwich fucking great. But if you did have cheese and butter, it's just like I feel the sandwich, eating milk.
Sandwich analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Hopefully, he's gained some confidence through. And I've watched all the what would you call them for the box sets? Like the
trailers.
The trailers.
Yeah, the mini movie.
The
thing.
things.
Yeah, short films.
Yeah, I've watched all them, and I think they're really good. So hopefully and everyone just seems to love them. So hopefully he's gained some confidence from that. And Russell seems to be at least impressed with what he's doing, enough to bring him onto War Between the Land and the Sea, which I watched an interview for. I sent it in our group chat. Yeah. I can't remember his name, who plays Alonso in... He's Bodgy and Gavin and Stacey, if you know who I'm talking about. And he did he did an interview talking about it, and it actually, dare I say it, folks, again, it's actually got me quite excited.
So let's talk about the interview with Russell Tovey for Collider. So there's a few big talking points in this one.
Yes.
Which included they said which is a good question, I think. What is the tonal difference between this show and Doctor Who? And that I immediately was like, yes, because we've talked about that in the past. Obviously, in the past, Doctor Who has had like the family show being Doctor Who, the adult show being Torchwood, and the Sarah Jane Adventures being the kids show. So we were like, is this going to be similar to that? Or is it going to be like what every multiverse is in 2025, where all the shows just feel exactly the same and it's a waste of a multiverse?
Yeah.
Russell's answer to this was it feels more indie, which I don't think necessarily gives away the tone, but maybe makes you feel a little bit more of like an adult tone. So from now on, when we talk about the War Between the Land and the Sea, we have to say, so indie, bro.
Oh, that's so indie.
So indie.
You mean the young adult show, The War Between the Land and the Sea? Yeah, it's got me excited. I think what's come over me, Aiden? I'm suddenly excited for this shit.
Are you a Whovian again?
I'm a Whovian again. It never left me. Hashtag Whovian, you know? Yeah, this interview got me excited, and I think the future could still be bright for Doctor Who. It could possibly still get to where I want it to be. But again, just why am I kept feeling like in the past I'm just trying to like, you know, I'm trying to always pitch it, you know. I'm not the showrunner. I'm just going to enjoy it as a fan.
That's it, mate.
You know, and this seems, they just wrapped at Christmas, and Dylan Holmes Williams directing every episode has definitely got me really excited because he's probably one of my favorite directors of Doctor Who of all time.
I agree.
Mr. Holmes. And the fact that he did all of them gets me excited. And he also said that he wasn't too sure on a release date, but he said maybe at the end of the year. Yeah,
but that was very much him just going like, who knows? These things tend to take a year with VFX involved, but who knows? I reckon end of the year. But I think there's a chance it's next year. Who the fuck knows?
Well, they started shooting in October, didn't they? So
yeah.
So I think that's a good year roundup and stuff. And honestly, I'm kind of cool if this is like a True Detective Series 1 type thing where it's like, just a series, just like one series.
Yeah, just a limited series.
And like it's kind of like its own thing. Like I'm kind of keen with that. And if I know I joked about this the other day, if War Between the Land and the Sea is the Better Call Saul of the Doctor Who universe, then consider me a fan. I've been proven wrong in the past. I think the coolest thing ever, I think, could be that this show is actually really amazing after we've kind of everyone in the fan base has been like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I think the coolest thing ever would be like, oh shit, we were all wrong. Like, this is actually really cool.
And it would be cool as well because it's hard to pitch like, no, start Doctor Who with season 2. But you can say, watch this show because this is like a season 1.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off, but it's still kind of a jumping on point,
Yeah, for
sure.
Like
people, our pal Josh Nares watched Torchwood before watching Doctor Who. It's not uncommon for that to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. in more of a positive light, how are you feeling about a potential series 3? Are you feeling a bit more positive about it now?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's going to happen either way. It's just the scale of it, like whether Disney's involved or not, or whether another streaming service gets involved.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk lately about this whole cancelled thing, and it all stemmed from Bad Wolf purely advertising that they have some studio space available, and everyone said, that's because Doctor Who's cancelled. You don't have the sets. You don't need to build the sets if you've been cancelled. And they're a big studio, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And maybe as well, they had sort of maybe put the dates in to film there since this all happened with the season 3 filming later than expected. Then maybe they just happened to, now they're like, oh shit, we need some people to use the space because we're not using it now.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I'd take that. I wouldn't take that seriously. Russell in Doctor Who magazine, and we've got a few things from Doctor Who magazine that we'll talk about here, but I don't like to quote them or anything like that. I think that you should buy the magazine in whatever way you can and give it a read because there's plenty of cool stuff in there.
We're even in last month's issue. So
That's right.
Support your boys.
Yeah. He said the future is bright for Doctor Who. But that doesn't give me any more hope because I just think he would say that anyways.
What's he supposed to say? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he's always going to say that.
I think there's a potential that series 2 could be really fucking good.
Yeah, bring it, bitch.
And if it is, I'm probably going to just be like this, like, man, maybe just start with series 2.
Yeah.
And I can like cherry pick episodes from series 1 that you could watch.
Boom, 73 arcs.
Maybe Rogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final? What final?
No final. No, yeah. No
Didn't
final.
happen. Yeah. Yeah. The future is always bright in Doctor Who land, I think.
Yeah. Russell also said a few other little tidbits in there. He said the animated creature that we saw coming out of the screen in the trailer,
which looked awesome,
is voiced by an old friend of Doctor Who.
I love that.
Which I think the obvious answer is Mark Gatiss, just because he's the old friend of Doctor Who. He's been there forever, in some form.
Welcome back, Matt Smith.
Do you have any other theories who it could be?
Not really, actually. I do have the theory that it's episode 1, because is it Belinda?
Yeah,
Belinda is in like a kind of period-esque costume in the first episode, and so is Shooty. So I think that could be from episode 1.
I have no idea. I think it's rumored to be episode 2.
Oh,
but I have no idea about this stuff.
What do I know? But who other voices it? I don't know. I mean, I think Mark. I would never have guessed Mark, but I saw it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I have no issue with it being Marky Mark. I kind of miss that guy. You know, he hasn't done anything for Doctor Who since Twice Upon a Time.
Is there anyone you know that can do like a silly, goofy voice from Doctor Who past?
You're looking at him.
Hi, I'm an anime. I'm a man.
Of course I know him. It's me.
It's me.
Yeah, it's me. I don't know. A Scottish David Tennant.
Oh God, he's actually the 16th Doctor.
God, no, I don't think it's David Tennant. I don't know. I mean, I think it's got to be Mark. I don't see who else. I mean, Mark's kind of like known. It's a bit of a meme that he's played so many different roles in Doctor Who. Yeah. It's honestly like the fanboy's dream.
I kind of love it though.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah,
he's kind of done a lot for Doctor Who. So I would, if there was something like that, I don't see why it wouldn't be him. I could see it, and I'm excited because that shot looks awesome.
Yeah. Old friend makes me think it has to be from Russell T Davies era and before. Makes me think that maybe it is I wouldn't be mad if it was like a classic Doctor. Like if it's just playing a random character with like a few lines.
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure, why not? That'd be so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. If it's Mark, I'm not going to be mad. I know some people like hate Mark Gatiss, and I agree he didn't rewrite great episodes. I mean, we kind of compared him to Pete just then, but I don't hate the guy.
Two very basic names.
Mark Gatiss and Pete McTeehee.
Just Mark and Pete.
Oh, Mark and Pete. Yeah.
It's like
just your average Doctor Who writers.
That's it.
I think it's Mark, and if it is, I'm not going to be disappointed. I've kind of missed Mark. I know he did an interview just recently where someone asked him if he hasn't come back yet, and he said no one's asked me. And that could all just be a load of BS. And he's just actually hiding the fact that he is, in fact, a cartoon character in episode 2 of series 2.
Another thing Russell said in this interview was he was talking about how he was looking around the studio and it was so empty because they're in the off period. There's very little people around the studio at the moment. And he was like, oh, I look around me, I see, there's the set from the end of series 5, at the end of episode 5. There's this set, there's that set. He says he's just been listening to Murray's score from the end of episode 5 on loop, which gets me excited, hot and sweaty.
Yeah, I would do the same thing if I worked with Murray Gold.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be epic.
And he also said the studio lights will come back on in early February for a few days to start filming some promotional stuff for season 2. So you'd assume that would be like you're shooting in the TARDIS, doing his like a recap of season 1, like those kind of things. The things, when you see him in one costume in all the cinema screenings.
Yeah, well,
he's always in the same costume.
Now say Happy Easter, now say Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there, then say Happy Christmas. Yeah,
but
it's like that kind of thing.
He did apparently also mention that he would be keen on bringing back the trailers. He mentioned filming the possibility. He says he doesn't know how it's going to work out or if they'll do it. But, the Trip of a Lifetime season 1 trailer.
Yeah.
And then like the season 3 split trailer.
Yeah, those were cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I want to try to get that happening.
Those were really cool, actually.
Which would be dope as fuck.
Wow.
Make it happen.
I could see, I don't know why this is like popped in my head, but it's like, something like, a show that we love, BoJack Horseman. I would say that series 1 is like the weakest.
I think it's one of the best. I love season 1.
Okay, I would say that series 1's the weakest.
I think season 2 is. Yeah.
Really? Well, yeah. I think, all right, allow me to rephrase. I think series 1 kind of like struggles to like find its feel a little bit. I mean, they have like cutaways in it, like it's a Family Guy episode, and they kind of like stopped doing that.
Yeah.
It had teething problems, maybe, I guess, in my opinion. So that's really surprised me you said that. But no, I think there's definitely ways to have like a third series of like teething problems, and then it like, or I guess in Aiden's, opinion, like, I guess like series 2 and stuff, you can like continue to go on to make a great show.
Absolutely. These shows that go on forever always have like little hits, bumps in the road here and there.
If I was showrunner and God forbid, maybe one day I will be, I would just get rid of I would just be like, aren't we on like series 40 now or 39? This will be series 40 coming up, I think.
Maybe, yeah. I have no idea.
I would just call it series 40.
Really?
Yeah.
You're one of those now.
It takes away all the pressure of like building a...
But no one's going to watch series 40.
Well, they still do it with like Star Trek and stuff.
No, they have all new spin-offs and stuff. They're called, they get new names. It's called like Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. They're not doing Star Trek season 60.
Star Trek Stranger Things.
Yeah, basically.
Look,
I'm looking at
call
you.
me old-fashioned, but like I think that could be just a really good way to like relieve all the pressure and stuff.
Relieves pressure, but do you want to relieve pressure or do you want an audience?
Well, Aiden, I'm telling you, this series that I'm cooking, it's really good. I think the audience would love it.
Season 60.
But why not? Just like it takes away from all the pressure of living up to like a series 1 again. Which
sometimes you need pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, but not in this case.
Exactly, and it really cheeses me off though. That's the thing. It's like if it was like that was series 39, then it would have been fine because it's like, okay, it's just like a new era, and like people can pick up on things, pretty quickly. I think audiences aren't as dumb as people think they are.
I'm pretty fucking dumb. I'll be real.
Okay.
Jo Martin has returned to Big Finish.
Yeah, boy.
Well, no, she's arrived at Big Finish.
The TARDIS has landed in the Big Finish studio, and this time who's popping out of it, Aiden?
Jo Martin.
Correct.
Her first ever Big Finish. Well, actually, I lie. She made her first appearance in the Once and Future range, but we'll forget about that.
Yeah, I swear she'd done it before.
But this is her first box set, her first proper outing.
Right.
Like, this is like the Jo Martin series 1.
We all know how Aiden feels about it. I had to reply to your tweet. You were like, Big Finish are always so great. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. You never said that.
I was just saying the trailer was cool. They're cool at like hype things like that.
Yeah, then you're like, they never miss. And I'm like, bullshit, Aiden.
I was, you know what? I go on my timeline on Twitter and I just see people complaining. And then, so like the last like month, I've been like, I'm not posting any more negative tweets on Twitter. There's enough of that, including you.
Come on, I mean, it's what? Can I not post my opinion?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Not anymore.
I saw you didn't like my tweet yesterday.
Oh, I didn't even. What, did you put up a tweet yesterday?
It was like they did this like Family Guy thing where it's like post your negative Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, no, I did see that. And I just thought, oh, that's so dram. That's so dram of you.
The fans loved it.
All 8 of them.
Thank you, Aiden. That's good though. I'm glad that you were like, they never miss at Big Finish. And I'm like, who are you? Some kind of fucking spokesman or something?
Sponsor us. I'm very keen to listen to Joe in Doctor Who. I think I will.
Oh, you're gonna get it, are you?
I think I will, because I go through waves, and I've definitely way slower now with Big Finish than I used to. And I picked up the final box set in the Matt Smith range that they were doing with not Matt Smith, but really good Matt Smith.
Yeah.
During their Black Friday sale. So I'm halfway through listening to that. When I finish that, then I might get the Joe Martin series, unless it's like $1 million, which is a big chance.
Get ready to like sell your car to finance it.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then I'm sorry, but I want to buy a house. So I'm going to put that over listening to Joe Martin. But
I do have thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Is that you saying, please let me talk, Aiden?
No.
No, give me your thoughts.
I would never do that.
Give me your thoughts.
Here are my thoughts on this whole Joe Martin Big Finish thing. And I apologize for being so negative, Aiden, on the TL and on the POD.
For Christ's sake.
That's short for podcast.
Well, you haven't even listened to this podcast. How are you going? So you haven't even listened to Big Finish, to this Big Finish.
Don't have to.
How are you going to be negative?
Well, because I'll tell you this, and I don't like this bullshit about. Can I preface, by the way? I love Jo Martin. I love her Doctor. Her Doctor type is what I wanted Jodie Whittaker's Doctor to be, and also it's what I would like actually shooting out with Doctor to be. You know, quite this like stern and unforgiven type Doctor.
Peter Capaldi.
Sure, yeah, Peter Capaldi, but woman. and the thing is, right, what I don't like, and I would say this with whoever was doing it before anyone calls me anything. Which they probably will anyway, but I don't like at all this fucking pre-Hartnell bullshit. I do. I care. I'm one of those fans, and I'm sorry, Aiden. I've been watching the show for 20 years. In a couple of weeks, I think I'm allowed to say that I just think it's bullshit. Like, I hate it. I don't like it. And also, I think it's a bit, I think it takes advantage of fans a little bit. And I'll tell you for why. Because now it's like, have you seen all of Doctor Who? No, you haven't. There's a ton of shit that happened before that you don't even know about. And if you want to listen to it, I wouldn't even say watch it because you have to listen to it. Get ready to sell your house.
But you could say that about any Big Finish. Like,
it's not
like
pre-
the McGann years.
It's
not like a big era that you've not heard. He's got a whole character arc that you don't know about.
Yeah, but at least McGann is in like the Doctor Who like canon. It's between 1 to whoever.
Big Finish has made plenty of things about like unbound doctors, which are doctors that aren't canon doctors and things like that.
Right. There obviously is that argument where like, we don't actually know if any of this stuff is actually legit.
And it's not. And that's the thing. Like that's my counter argument. He's like, who the fuck cares? I'd understand if it was a spin-off. I could understand some hesitancy towards it. But then again, back in the day,
I'd be keen to see that.
But then what's the difference?
I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you for why. It's like, if it's a spin-off, it's actually like, I don't know. It's like, okay, look, like, here's the thing, right? How they actually did confirm the Big Finish characters in the Night of the Doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's legit.
Well, that confirms they exist, but it doesn't, like, are you telling me that the Doctor has done spare parts multiple times before? Has he met Mary Shelley multiple times before? All these things
Buddy Holly and stuff.
All these things that contradict.
I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I feel like I wouldn't be Conor if I didn't come on this podcast and say my opinion about it. I don't know. I don't like all this like pre-Hartnell stuff.
I get that. But what else would you do with the Joe Martin spin-off?
Well, actually, I would. I mean, I remember back when Timeless Child happened, they were talking about that bridge gap between the second and third Doctor, which now they've just canonized the solution.
Well, with the war games.
Genuinely, if it was between that gap, I generally wouldn't really have an issue with it.
Why? What's the difference?
Because I'm a twat, dude.
Yeah, you are.
Just annoying.
I don't understand the difference.
On YouTube, who's just a fat. I don't know. It's just irked me. I don't like this whole. And dare I say, it's a little disrespectful.
It's not.
It is.
Because he's not.
I
mean, this is an age-old argument. This is
I don't know. And like, I just...
What, to Willie? Willie Hartnell?
Yeah, and I would say it for whatever Doctor it was. I just don't know if, like, I think, Doctor Who should respectfully start with Will Hartnell.
And it does. This is an audio drama.
Know.
This is a fan film.
Maybe, okay, sure. It's a fan film that has the BBC logo on it and Doctor Who, and they're making a gazillion bucks.
Well, just because it's officially licensed, so they can actually say and use the characters.
And, Nick Briggs probably lives in a massive house, It's like, good on him. But I don't know. You know what? Maybe I'm like, it's just me with that argument. And if so, that's cool. I will accept productive criticism and only productive criticism. But, and from what I've heard of it, it's great. I would say I'd give it a listen, but I'd be lying because I say that every time and never have. But it seems like Big Finish gives opportunities for stories that we just won't see on screen, which is really cool. I just had a few problems with them, but that's just classic Connor fucking moaning about shit. That's, maybe,
he loves to do it.
Maybe it's not necessary to moan about. I'm sure Jeremy's got my back because Jeremy's my dog.
He's your dog?
Yeah, we're dogs.
Dog.
Yeah.
I thought you said
dogs.
I thought you said doc.
No, we're dogs. I'm sure. Jeremy, comment. I agree with Connor. I'm too live stream pilled.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to being
negative live streams. Tune in usually every Friday night for one of Connor's.
Yeah, until Aiden messes my plans up like he did last week.
Sorry, mate. And this week we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So move on to the episode that we're reviewing today.
Get me off Big Finish.
Take him away from Big Finish, mate. Otherwise, we're going to get sued by them. Silver Nemesis is the third serial of the 25th season of the British science fiction television series
Doctor Who.
Yeah, you guessed it all right. It was first broadcast in the United Kingdom on BBC One in 3 weekly parts from the 23rd of November,
woohoo,
the 25th anniversary,
woohoo,
to the 7th of December 1988. In New Zealand, all 3 parts were broadcast on TVNZ on the 25th of November. So, in New Zealand, aka Jeremyville.
Yeah, Jeremy watched it early.
Yeah, Jeremy watched it early. That's crazy that it all came out.
It all came out on the 25th. So they got it
in New Zealand, yeah. Wow. Whereas in the UK, it started on the 23rd, but it came out weekly.
Right, so they got the first episode 2 days later, but then also got the remaining two.
And I'd take that.
That's crazy.
I'd take that.
Wow.
In the serial, the neo-Nazis...
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. You didn't get that?
No, I did.
I was going to say, they're literally like with the Fourth Reich.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
The neo-Nazis, the 17th century sorceress, and the Cybermen fight for control of the Nemesis, a statue containing a living metal, which crash-landed near Windsor Castle in 1988. It marks the final appearance of the Cybermen in the original run.
I thought that until Rise of the Cybermen Age of Steel.
That's right. I'd never seen this one before, Connor. I know you haven't.
No.
So we both went in blind.
I'm still blind.
I watched the normal edition because I like to watch the normal editions before I watch the special editions.
Nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really fucking nerdy
like,
thing to say.
I noticed a little difference when they fired their blaster.
They added in that line.
Oh, that's a deleted scene.
He's got an extra in that sentence.
Nice.
Oh,
really?
No.
Okay. Shit, I actually trusted you for a second there.
Never trust me. It's written by Kevin.
I'm still blind.
It's written by Kevin Clark and directed by Chris Clough.
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, interesting. The 25th anniversary.
Go on, spill the beans. How do you feel about it? Stop giving me this bullshit. Just tell me how you feel. I
was intrigued very early on.
Oh no, don't say it.
Very early on, I'm vibing. You know, I like the settings. I like the Doc and Ace are amazing.
That's a given, yeah.
And then like the story just happened, and I was like, "Is that it?" Like, there's no fucking meat on the bones. We've just done a serial talking about like race wars and race riots.
Yes.
Then we did a series like talking about, you know, like government. well, there was so much in the Happiness Patrol. There was so much in it. It was so meaty. And then you get this, and it's like Remembrance of the Daleks, but shit.
Yeah.
It's literally the same plot. Factions warring over Omega's device. It's the Hand of Omega remembers the Daleks. In this one, Omega created this silver shitty robot thing.
It's funny how so the Doctor mentions firing it off. Am I missing something here? Is this from a classic episode that I missed?
No, this is just like...
This is Big Finish shit. It happened in a Big Finish shit. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking like maybe it happened in like another episode. And
No, this is like Lorna Bucket shit.
Lorna Bucket, rip the goat. How do I feel about it? Okay, so the first episode, I'm like, we're back, baby. Like, this is so cool. Like, I'm like, this ain't no happiness patrol bullshit. Like, this is some banging stuff.
Like the Happiness Patrol.
And I watched an episode and a half, right. And I guess I should have kept going. Cause it's funny when I went back, I kind of lost my mojo a little bit. And I think the episode did too, because I think the opening episode, I've had this with Classic Who a lot, where the opening episode really intrigues me.
Yeah, I like this. I like the opening. It was good.
Really cool. It really got me going.
I like the different settings and things. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think it was really sick. And like, it's so, Barry, this is so classic Doctor Who. It's just so classic Doctor Who, I should say. Where the fucking cliffhanger for episode 1 is always just the villain revealing themselves. Dun, dun, dun.
It's the Cybermen.
Yeah. Who are they, Doctor? The Cybermen. It's like, okay, for fuck's sake. I swear, if I've seen that once, I've seen it a gazillion times. That being said, I love the first part.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to rock.
I wouldn't say love. But I love the character scenes in the first part. I love the moments between the Doctor and Ace when they're getting chased and they fall in the water. And
brilliant.
And she's like, I hope my tape's not damaged.
Yeah, it would be, but...
And like when they're like hanging out and there's those people like playing like the jazz music
awesome.
And things. It's so 80s British. It's so... I love it.
Yeah, it's a very jazzy series.
Yeah.
Season.
But then every time this fucking sorcerer comes up...
That is strange.
What are you on about? Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's funny because like that, I did notice in the episode they mentioned the 23rd of December.
Yeah.
December. Sorry, 23rd of November. And, I put 1 and 2 together because I know in the Dalek episode, Remembrance, that they were, it was the 25th anniversary and that kind of thing. In a sense, this season should really slap because it's got the Cybermen and the Daleks in it. And I think the Daleks in Classic Who, I've been convinced why they're such a classic villain. The Cybermen thus far, I've been a lot less impressed with. The jump between this and Rise of Cybermen Age of Steel, I know people have problems with those Cybermen too, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
But those ones seem a lot like... These Cybermen seem a lot more human. They talk a lot more human. When in like Age of Steel, Rise of Cybermen, they're a lot more... the human emotion is like gone.
And I think the suits in these ones are just so like... Just someone in a onesie. You know, sometimes they do a step a little bit too long and you can see a nut sticking out kind of energy.
I see. Yeah. I noticed that's
but that being said, I do find these Cybermen, they don't look that great, but I'm kind of nostalgic for them. Like when we were so young and like season 1 had just come out and we first had our interest peaked in Doctor Who and we still lived in the UK, like you would look everywhere and you'd see the big Cybermen in like in a shop. Like you'd always see those old Cybermen. So I always feel nostalgic for those like 70s, 80s Cybermen designs, particularly this later stuff. To be honest, I think I really, really dig.
Well, my dad would always tell me when I first watched Series 1, 2005. my dad would always tell me about the Cybermen. Like he would always mention it. And I remember after Christmas Invasion when they showed the Series 2 trailer, like one of the final shots was of a Cyberman. And I remember just like running to my dad and being like, they're the Cybermen, because I'd heard so much about, because I'd seen the Daleks, but not the Cybermen. And I'm a little, like, I haven't seen every Cyberman story, but I'm a little bit like, were they just a villain that was just like reoccurring, or were they, I know Earthshock's huge.
Yeah, but
so, you know,
I'd say the vibe I get is, other than Earthshock, I think post, and I've not seen any of the Trouter Cybermen story. Well, you know, I've not seen Invasion, and for Hartnell, I've not seen 10th Planet, which I think those, and Tomb of the Cybermen with Challen, are like the haunting Cybermen vibes, and that's what created the Cybermen.
And why would I care?
I think in classic Who, with the exception of Earthshock, I don't think they ever really got them right in Colour Doctor Who.
Right.
Yeah. So that, especially like they never went back to that horror that I think that vibe, the 60s Cybermen stories did have. So yeah, I'd be curious for people that have actually seen those episodes what they think. But definitely it feels like these goofy boys in this serial are far from the 60s stuff.
Yeah, because it's interesting because like Ace says there's like a line to the Doctor where it's like, I actually do feel scared. And I feel like the Cybermen didn't really pose as much of a threat as the Daleks in Resurrection of the Daleks. Remembrance of the Daleks, sorry. Yeah, it's like I don't think they had as much of a threat.
No, there's one good scene in part 3 that I thought, I kind of get the spookies, when Ace is being chased through the warehouse, and there's quite a cool little action bit, and there's a moment where she's hiding and he's lurking, and I thought that had a bit of tension about it. But outside that, they're not intimidating at all.
No. Yeah, I agree. I think I always get excited when I see a Cyberman episode, and I don't... It's funny because doesn't everyone always say that McCoy's first series is the worst?
Yeah.
It's funny because like this series isn't really like...
I like this series. This one was a bit more of a dud for me.
You have, yeah. I don't dislike this episode. I think I definitely enjoyed this serial more than the Happiness Patrol.
What the fuck is wrong with this
everybody.
guy?
But I think that it's still not perfect.
Mate, it's so far from perfect, this one.
Allow me to rephrase. It's still not that great.
The Doctor and Ace, what did you think?
Oh, the Doctor and Ace are always fantastic. Always brilliant. It's funny, there was 2 things in this episode that I've seen be memed. The one where like the Doctor's like lying down and he like does like a back roll and then like stands up. There's that I've seen, and there's another one where it's like he runs off to the Cybermen and he's like, "Hello, I'm the Doctor. I believe you're trying to kill me." Funny.
Good lines.
I'm like, haha. I just like laugh at the TV, like, haha. That's funny.
Nice.
Ace is I simp Ace. I think she's great.
Great.
And I think they're actually a really good duo. I am just kind of waiting for a story that actually really like tickles my fancy, and I can't describe it more than just when I watched the first part. I was punching the air, you know. I was fist in the air, I guess. You know, I was like, this is awesome, and I think it really just like lost momentum. There's like this like arrow, there's Nazis, and
they did nothing with the Nazis.
No.
If you're going to do the Fourth Reich, mate, have something to say about it.
That's like Indiana Jones type shit, isn't it?
Yeah, are they the Fourth Reich in Indiana Jones, or are they just the third?
I don't know.
They're just the third. I think it's just in
right.
It's just set in World War II, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just the Third Reich. I think it's just the actual Nazis.
Right.
Not to be confused with present-day America. But that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a topical episode for right now.
It is, and yet this episode had fuck all to say about it.
Yeah.
You know? It had nothing to say. It was the most watered-down version of Remembrance of the Daleks. It was like, what if we did Remembrance of the Daleks, but Cybermen and shit?
Yeah. I think shit's maybe a little harsh. I certainly enjoyed it more than Happiness Patrol, but we can disagree on that until the cows come home. But
Happiness Patrol just had more to fucking say.
And this is the only Cybermen episode with Sylvester?
Yeah.
Okay.
Woof. Woof.
You know,
What did you think of the plot device of the Silver Nemesis itself? The humanoid silver metaltron thing that like was just in part 3 when it like goes through the warehouse and like comes next to the Doctor.
Yeah. It's
annoying to look at.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I want to close my eyes when it's on screen.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, it kind of reminded me of Raiders in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
Where the arc opens.
Yeah, I can see that a bit. Yeah.
It kind of gave me that, you know, like kind of like ghostly figures that come out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were going for that. I think it gets convoluted and messy, and it could have been a lot more simpler and smarter. And, you know, it's funny how it's meant to be this like celebratory episode in a sense. I mean, the 25th anniversary. I mean, in 25 years later, we get the 50th anniversary day of the Doctor, you know, and I really was expecting, I think, a little bit more. When I heard the Doctor say like it's the 23rd of December, I keep saying December, November. Why do I keep saying the 23rd of December? I was like, ooh, we're in for a good special time and seeing the Cybermen and stuff. But I guess my theory was almost correct, where it's like, I just don't know if I've been that impressed by the same as you. I haven't seen like the 10th Planet and stuff. I haven't been that impressed. I notoriously wasn't very impressed by Earthshock, which is, I know people might think I'm insane for saying that. The same way Aiden looks at me when I say Happiness Patrol wasn't great.
We're just built different, you know?
Yeah. I've seen much better episodes of Cybermen and like New Who and stuff. So it's a shame. I think it had the opportunity to be really good.
But it's not.
It reminds me of the Space Museum, where like a first episode hasn't really grabbed me like that in a while. And also lost me that quickly.
Yeah. It really lost me. Like part 2, I literally kept rewinding it because I was like feeling like I was missing something that whole time. Like there's so many scenes of the Doctor and Ace just in the hills in part 2, just and like I kind of want to give a shit about those scenes, but they just feel like nothing scenes. Like they're good in part 1, but in part 2 it's just like, what are we doing? Like I honestly feel like they had no plot for this episode. The plot, the episode has fuck all of a plot. It sets it up in part 1, and then in part 3, the Doctor's like just trying to make them all turn against each other. And it just feels so separate. Like when you have the scene of the sorcerer lady, all of the stuff just feels so separate to everything else and like fodder. And then same with like the scenes when you have the Cybermen and the Fourth Reich going at it, like stuff like that. It just feels so like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
you know, like why do I care? Why should I hate these characters?
Yeah, the part 2 cliffhanger is basically like, yeah, you're right. They are just kind of like in a hill, just trying to figure out shit.
Yeah, and they're like, oh shit,
there are 10,000 cyber ships in space.
God damn,
and they were hidden. And by the way, an idea what I thought was really cool was the idea the Silver Nemesis. What is that? What it lands every
25 years?
25 years. I think that's really cool. And part of me was like, oh, if they don't resolve it at the end of the episode, like it could be cool. Like if
should have been in the 50th.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I was going to be like, that would have been awesome if they just mentioned it by name in the 50th, and then in the 75th, and then in the 100th, they could just mention their Silver Nemesis.
Yeah, they're like, a random meteorite has landed on Earth.
Silver Nemesis. But I think they figured it out later. Yeah, exactly. But also, there's also, I think they try to and kind of fail at going at this kind of where Ace is like questions who the Doctor is, and being like, actually I don't really know much about this person. Like she says, like, I know he's a Time Lord, but. And I guess it's because it's the 25th anniversary, you're going to have to try and question a little bit about the Doctor and stuff. And
well, you did that in the 50th.
Well, exactly. It's like, remember that the Doctor is from another planet.
Yeah.
And like, I think they're trying to go for something like that, where it's like Ace finally questions who she's traveling with.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like they don't really.
I didn't mind that though. And maybe it's because I know the context of where they were maybe wanting to take this. And I'm kind of glad they didn't do it, like with season 27 and things exploring the Doctor's past more. But when the sorceress person is saying, like, you know, I know about your past, I know who you are, that's because they had a plan of where they wanted to take, and they wanted to explore the Doctor's past more. And people, a lot of the time when they talk about Chibnall's run on Who, they talk about how he pulled from what season 27 was going to be.
That's right.
So I think it's actually kind of neat and kind of works with what we ended up getting with the Timeless Children, whether you like it or not. I think it is kind of like a cool little narrative thing that there was these like every now and then the Doctor just stumbles upon someone that somehow, whether it's through a random silver robot or whatever, actually knows the truth about the Doctor.
Yeah.
The difference is that what doesn't make sense is that the Doctor himself shouldn't know, because in this episode it's alluded that he knows his past, whereas in Chibnall's era, the Doctor doesn't know their own past. So that's the difference. But yeah, it's still cool. I like that idea of teasing.
That's kind of sick, because I guess this kind of sets up the Timeless Child.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do recall at the Sylvester McCoy event in Brisbane, someone asking about that.
I don't remember.
So they were asking about if that was, what Chibnall got inspiration from. Not sure why they asked Sylvester McCoy that, because I don't think he would know that even if he fucking wanted to. But yeah, it's like I did hear that there was going to be something like that for 27. You said.
Yeah, season 27.
Yeah, because McCoy said as well that there were plans for there was supposed to be another series, and then it got cancelled. That is interesting. Okay, that does change my perspective on it.
Yeah, I think it's quite a dark scene as well. I like that. That was probably my favorite scene out of all 3 episodes. I think in the end they just shoot the fucking meteor up and just blow up the Cybermen spaceships because it disregarded the Cybermen's commands after the Doctor gives the Cybermen the power to the Silver Nemesis.
And people give Jodie's Doctor shit for killing all these Cybermen and Darks and stuff.
Yeah. Homie's just doing it.
It's a bit of a nothing burger. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
The 25th anniversary of Doctor Who sucks, ?
Well, Doctor Who
that's a good title.
Doctor Who just doesn't change.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's true. Doctor Who doesn't change. There's occasionally an episode that reminds you of why you watch the show and love it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fodder in between.
Lots of it. But next week on the pod, we will give our ratings on this in a second.
Yes.
But next week on the pod, we're sort of going from one anniversary special to another.
Yeah, centenary, baby.
We've both been very excited to revisit The Power of the Doctor for the longest time. And our revisited our Redux reviews. We have finally made it to The Power of the Doctor. So we're going to be re-reviewing The Power of the Doctor next week on the show, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, so, nothing lasts forever, no life, no regeneration, to quote the episode.
That's right.
And our Redux reviews are done for now. When do you think we'll revisit Starbeast and stuff? Like in 5 years?
I think, well, it's not going to be 5 years, but I think it's got to be at least another year.
100%. I mean, I've just done a year perspective on it, and I feel like I've said everything I need to say on the episode.
I don't
so
think
maybe
more.
Give it like a little bit of time.
Like I think we started doing the Flux ones 3 years after transmission.
That's a good time, I think.
So So they will continue at some point, but I think we will continue to actually do more Redux reviews and go just back to like other episodes of New
Rose,
Who.
Aren't we?
We'll do Rose for its 20th anniversary. I think we'll just do a few of those just because they're fun. Like
they are fun,
and it'll be nice to maybe look at some episodes that we had reviews that were maybe against the norm and see if we can find something that we liked there. We were young in this reviewing game when we did the first few seasons of New Who. Yeah, so
it was a pandemic.
Yeah, we were just miserable,
Yeah.
So there's 2 episodes we have to do because our reviews are so bad on them.
The Planet of the Ood?
Planet of the Ood, because apparently I was just an angry boy when we reviewed it.
That's okay.
So I think it'll be funny to do that one again.
Yeah.
And then for Christmas this year, if we don't have a Christmas special, we should do The Next Doctor. Because that was the notorious podcast where we both sat there and went, we don't want to talk about this today. And we spoke about 2 sentences on it and then moved on.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So we should do that and actually review it.
The future is bright for Doctor Who and the 50% Doctor Who podcast, if you ask me.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
I did have one more thing I was going to say, but it has absolutely escaped my mind.
It is funny how when Doctor Who's more quiet, less people are intend to watch like Doctor Who YouTube videos, isn't it?
Yeah, but it makes sense.
I know it makes sense, but it's like it's just kind of crazy. You really do see that like in quieter seasons.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, just the lack of like engagement and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Definitely, and it's starting to pick up now, which is cool.
Who's been watching my videos?
Not me.
Good.
Yeah, if there is any other episodes that you would like us to look back and do more reviews of that we've already reviewed a long time ago, but if you'd like us to do it again, then let us know. Because we'll take your suggestions. We'll do anything.
Let us know.
Anything to stop us reviewing
below.
Anything to stop us reviewing Classic Who every week.
It's not. This isn't bad with like the Sylvester stuff. I feel like that's bearable.
It's when you get 6-parters and things like that.
With Series 2, there was just some shit in there that was just like, Christ, how am I doing this?
Struggle Towns for sure.
We're slowly like, ding, ding, ding.
Ticking them off, baby. Ticking them off. We should also maybe do Flesh and Stone Time of Angels. Because
15?
No, or maybe, I don't know. But I'm saying we should do it because our podcast review is... Our review, we didn't have the mics recording, and it's just the sound from my computer audio, so it sounds horrible. So maybe we can give the folks a better version of their review for that.
There's also the Doctor that we're in the wardrobe. My Blue Yeti decided to fuck itself halfway through. Do you remember this? And you had to run over. It's right here, actually. You had to run over this device.
Ah, right. Yeah, H1N for any of you nerds.
I spoke into that for the episode.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's another episode where the audio was
awful. So the future is bright, as you said.
You spoke into a shotgun mic for the first 2 series.
Yeah, we should just redo the whole first couple seasons.
Into a shotgun mic? What are you, fucking nuts?
Well, yeah, I think, literally one of the ones you'd put on the top of your... Because I had nothing else. I'd never done this
like
before.
on the DSLR,
Yeah.
It's like, I'd had like a Blue Yeti, but...
Yeah.
To be fair, we know the flight was going to go anyway.
I think episode 1, I might have literally used that 1N... What you just held up before as well for it.
This is Aiden Green,
which is just crazy.
Rose,
and
2025.
Now, look at us here.
Hey now,
here with all this tech and no idea what to do with it.
What? Hey now.
So, your review, your rating for Silver Nemesis out of 10, Connor. What will it be?
The 25th anniversary of Doctor Who is getting a 5 to celebrate 25 years of Doctor Who.
I thought I was going to be harsh.
Is that harsh? I feel like that's pretty good.
I'm going to give it a 5.5. Noffenberger. I enjoy it. The only good things I enjoy is the companions and seeing the cute Cybermen with their balls sticking out.
The 25th anniversary of Doctor Who gets a 5.5 and a 5.
That's a lot of 5s.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Shall we go to the pub?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. It's Adam. I can't sing to that. I don't know what your tune is. We're doing Doctor Who reviews.
Silence, girl.
I don't know.
Is this the music that Russell was listening to on loop?
Yeah. I would do the exact same thing, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd definitely have like short films before.
Wow, this is on screen would be amazing.
Yeah, like this is better than Hans Zimmer.
Goosebumps.